Good morning, everybody. This is a lecture on subject-verb agreement. I hope you're doing well. This is the beginning of our journey into online learning. It's a winter day still, a little rainy, and here we are. So, subject-verb agreement. This was a lecture that we started before break, and I'm going to carry on. All right. So, I'm going to say goodbye and talk and have you look at the slides. First step, what is the subject? When you're trying to figure out if you have subject-verb agreement, the first step is to identify the subject in the sentence. So, as you know, we talked about this, most sentences in English are a subject-verb-object order. So the subject often comes at the beginning of the sentence. So if we look at this sample sentence, Mary enjoys playing tennis on the weekends. We ask ourselves, who or what is doing the action? We would say, well, Mary's doing the action. It's a noun, it's a person who can do the action. And so that is our subject. It's usually at the front of the sentence. So the subject performs the action of the verb. So if you can identify the main verb of the sentence, ask yourself who or what is performing that action. Your answer is the subject, and then you need to figure out the verb. Now, the verb might be not where you expect it. So let's look at this sentence. This is a little tricky. When Mary has time off from work, she plays tennis. Okay, so the first clause is dependent, and the second clause is independent. The main clause is the independent clause. She plays tennis. Now, so Mary is the actor in this sentence, right? We know that from the introductory clause, when Mary has time off. She is present, is third person, and the verb play is our verb. She plays. Now remember, in third person, which is she, the verb has an S. She plays, not she play. Okay. Which is the main subject and verb? Sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by intervening words, phrases, or clauses. So a prepositional phrase is like beside the two tall trees. So with a subject in that sentence, the flower beside the two tall trees, the flower is my subject. Now we can ignore the prepositional phrase beside the two tall trees. The main verb is. The flower is a budding rose. Okay? So you see that sometimes the subject is separated from the main verb. The main verb and the main subject are not in the prepositional phrase. Let's look at the next sentence. The cars in the parking lot have their windows open. Who or what is this about? It's about the cars. What is my prepositional phrase? In the parking lot. And what's my main verb? Have. So the cars have their windows open. So we can just ignore that prepositional phrase. We can look at adjective clauses. Now, an adjective clause tells us more about the subject. The girls that live in the dorm like to laugh. Who or what is this about? The girls. Is it singular or plural? It's plural. What's my main verb? Like. So, the girls like to laugh. They like to laugh. Okay, so we ignored the adjective clause in the middle, that live in the dorm. Which girls? Oh, the girls that live in the dorm. What do they like to do? They like to laugh, not likes. Relative clauses. The subject and the verb may be separated by a word or group of words that gives more information about the subject. These words or phrases are often marked by commas. So if we look at this sentence, Bill Clinton, the President of the United States, was found guilty of having an affair. Who or what is this about? Bill Clinton. What is our main verb? Was found. That is a past. That's passive voice actually, and it's past tense because we know was is in the past. So Bill Clinton is he, right? He was found guilty. So we can just ignore that information in the relative clause. Next, what is the main subject and verb? Sometimes there are compound subjects or compound verbs. So if we have a compound subject, we have two subjects, my friend and I. So we can replace that with a pronoun they. They eat lunch together. So then it agrees, right? Eat is the correct verb. My friend works and goes to school. So notice my friend is he. It's singular. And it refers to two verbs, works and goes. My friend works and goes to school. Okay, subjects are sometimes hard to find. So sometimes the subject and the verb are not reversed per se, but let's look at these sentences as an example. Sentences beginning with there have reversed orders. So yeah, kind of. Okay, so there is called a subject filler. So when you're doing agreement, you need to look to what is there referring, what is the verb referring to? Well, the students. So students are, not students is. So there are 3 students in the cafeteria, and that agrees. There is a stain on the floor. So the stain is singular, so the verb is singular. And there again is a subject filler. Sometimes subjects and verbs are reversed for stylistic purposes. Hardest hit by the tragedy was the mother of the family. Now this is not active voice. This is more passive. So when we write, we generally don't want to write this way, but this sentence, if we think about it, hardest hit by the tragedy was the mother of the family. So the mother's is the subject, and she was hardest hit by the tragedy. I like to write in active voice, so I would put the mother at the front of the sentence. The mother of the family was hardest hit by the tragedy. I think that's a better way to say it. Here comes the plane. Now that would be in passive voice. If we put it in active voice, we'd say the plane comes, or the plane will come soon, or comes to Minnesota on Thursdays, things like that. Okay, I think you get the idea. Can you locate the mistakes? So here are some example mistakes of subject-verb agreement errors. The first sentence, a good scientist observes and records data accurately. Now that's wrong. It should say, a good scientist observes and records data accurately. Yes. The next one I'm going to have you do and think about what is the mistake. I'm not going to tell you right away. An attorney from one of the most prestigious law firms have agreed to represent the suspect. Okay, who or what is it about? The attorney. Is it singular or plural? Singular. What's my main verb? Have. He have? No, he has. There you go. Okay, a supervisor who listened to others and whose style is collaborative is often the most effective. Now this one's tricky because in the relative clause you can see the error. What is this about? A supervisor. And what is the supervisor doing? He listens. So notice supervisor singular, replace it with the pronoun he or she, let's not be sexist, and then look for the verb listen, listens to others and whose style is collaborative, is often most effective. So you can see how important subject-verb agreement is. Finally, we're almost to the end. It's been long, I know. These are the correct sentences. A good scientist observes and records data accurately. An attorney from one of the most prestigious law firms has agreed to represent the suspect. And finally, a supervisor who listens to others and whose style is collaborative is often the most effective. Have a great day.